Get started. Okay, so thank y'all for coming. Lindsay Russell's here with us. If you don't know, Lindsay is a sapphire, almost diamond. She'll be diamond in about less than a week. And I asked her to jump on here because she always has great insights. And most of this stuff is probably from me bouncing things off from her. And so we kind of lead both of our teams. She's my level 1. So we lead our team a lot of, in the same ways. So we'll just go ahead and jump in. I'll tell you, this is very simple. It's my new phrase that I kind of got from Andrea by past week, and I spent with her. Just that, this is not hard. I mean, sometimes it can be hard, but it's very simple. This is very simple. Duplication is very simple. And I think the important thing is just to make sure you're doing the same things with every new ambassador that you gain. So whether you're on this call and you're brand new and you only have one ambassador, or maybe you're gold or senior gold and you're just not seeing duplication, I think you could take what we're fixing to say and the tips and put them in action, and you'll see growth, because I really think that's what makes our team grow and continue to grow, is because we have very good duplication, and we just teach this to our newbies. So let me share my screen real quick. Here you go. My slide shows nothing fancy, but I thought, I'm a visual learner, so I thought it might help. Excuse me. And view. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having a hard time viewing this. Start the slideshow. Play from start. Here we go. We'll get started. Okay, so you're here because you want to know what to do with your team. So the first thing I always start with, very simple, is send your new ambassador an email, welcoming them to the team, and with directions and starter files. Now, these starter files might contain different things. I know many of us use a Dropbox. And if you're not familiar with Dropbox, it's a great way to put files that you want to send, organize your files so you can send somebody all your files at once. A lot of people like to use Dropbox. I will say I would just make sure you include the directions on how to use the products, because a lot of our new ambassadors, we forget, are brand new to the products. So you kind of have to double it up. You have to treat them like a new customer and a new ambassador. So make sure you send them directions on how to take their products, set up their expectations correctly with their products, what to expect, how much water to drink, but also get them an email started with the business. And I'll tell y'all, I do this with everyone. I don't do this, I think there's 3 types of new ambassadors. You have those that sign up and they only want the products wholesale. Then you have those who sign up that really want the business. And then you have those that they don't really know what they want. They're unsure. So I have learned my email looks the same for everyone. I send them that initial email. I like to include one video with his email because I don't like to overload. I like to include, I love Timmy Yancey's How to Go Silver. I think it's more effective if you just make your own video. You can kind of use someone else's that you like and kind of make it your own, because they know you. They're not going to know these jewels. They might not know me if you use one of my videos. But I think at the beginning, go ahead and use your team's videos. That's fine. Lindsay, what do you put in your email when you send people?
I actually have one that I send for wholesale ambassadors, and then one that I send for people that are ready for the business. But the one for the wholesale still has the same files, just in case the ones that want to end up digging and playing around. And I do send Timmy Yancey's video, and I've started to send the Jen Hawkins, I just signed up, now what? And that's got a lot more detailed steps for those that really want that. And I've even actually started sending that to people before they sign up. Just kind of giving them a good head start before we have our 3-way call. So pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I just think it's important that you send everyone that initial email and, welcoming them to your team and letting them know that you did notice that they joined. So secondly, add and welcome to team pages. Again, y'all, I told you this was going to be simple, but you need to add and welcome. And I'll say, make sure you add them to the team pages, not just welcome. Because I know on my team, every day somebody welcomes someone, but they never added them. So there's a little box to the right hand corner, and it says add. Just type in their name and add them to the page. And, there's a lot of different ideas of how many team pages to add them to. I would say probably no more than 3. That's kind of my rule of thumb. At least 1 jewel page. So depending where you're on the team, you might say you're Lindsay's level 1. You would add them to maybe your team page if you have one, Lindsay's, and then mine. But say you're way down below, and there's like 16 pages between me and you, but there's no more jewels. I would at least add them to 1 big team page. And as they start working the business, add them to more, to Roz's and Andrea's and some of my uplines. And the reason I say this is because I don't want to, I've overloaded a few people. I've learned from my mistakes. I've had people, I added them to all, I wanted to go all the way up to Celeste, and I was excited, but it really overwhelmed them. So when I add them to these team pages, I warn them. And I really do. I say, hey, I'm going to add you to some team pages. You can go ahead and turn off the notifications or they'll drive you crazy. I actually unfollow all the team pages. And I just make a point to go, because I don't want it all in my newsfeed. I don't want my newsfeed to be just tons of team pages because I'm on 1 billion. But then I just make a point daily to go check and see what's going on. And I tell my people to do that. I'm like, you can even unfollow them and then just make a point daily to go see, what's new. The big hot question is always, do I add my wholesale customers to team pages? And Lindsay is actually a prime example of yes, you do. So Lindsay, tell us why it's so important to add your wholesale customers.
Oh, yeah. So I signed up on a Friday just to get my products cheaper. And Julia added me to some team pages. And while my kids were taking a nap one Sunday afternoon, I just started playing. And I literally just got inspired. Like I had no idea what all the products, I really wasn't even looking at the business stuff. I was just reading testimonies and kind of what, I'm a rule follower. So I ran across a video of what to do. I just signed up, now what? And I just kind of went through the steps and I just kind of got motivated. So I went from like Friday, just wanted to get our products on, cheaper, to Sunday. I was like, I sent Julia a text. I was like, can I send you this post? I think I'm going to post tomorrow. So add all your wholesale ambassadors to at least one.
Yes. And so y'all can see, so many times people say, I'm not interested in selling, but I add them to one and they catch that vision and they get excited. And our team pages have so much to offer. And I explain that to people. It's not just business, it's product information. And it's a place they can ask questions and they get the support. And a lot of times that brings them in because they see so many people supporting and loving on them that they decide, I really want to be a part of this. I don't want to just be a customer. So I kind of gave 3 little examples. I love to use their profile picture or something, and simple apps like Rona or there's different apps you can use. You don't have to be real techie just to steal their picture off of Facebook and put welcome. But, if you don't want to do that, at least, give them a little graphic. I personally don't like the welcomes that don't have a graphic because I think it just makes it personal. It kind of makes them feel special. So number 3, upline your, I don't know if I said that right. Introduce your new ambassador in a group message. Okay, y'all? This is key. I can tell you my strong legs. I have several, but my 3 strongest legs are the 3 that do this. I can tell who does this number 3, and I think it's so important. And what this is you're going to introduce your new ambassador to their 2 uplines, 2 or 3, in a group message. So for instance, Lindsay signs up Sarah. She's going to get a group message with Lindsay, me, and maybe Angie and say, hey y'all, this is my new ambassador Sarah. She's from Texas. This is my friend Joya. I went to high school with her, not high school, we went to college together, and kind of, we're going to introduce each other. And there's a few reasons why this is so important. It connects your new person. Even if they're a wholesale customer, you can say she's just interested, she's excited about trying the products. That way I know how to help her. I know I'm not going to send her, tons of business stuff right off, but I might send her, a Jennifer Pickett video about, triplex, because I know she's on triplex. Also, it gets her connected. Like there's a team, there's that support. If Lindsay goes to Disney World with her family in 2 weeks, her new ambassador's not left by herself. She has me. If she has a problem, she has 3 minds to help her. And also, something I've just noticed lately is sometimes Lindsay doesn't know that her new girl lives in the same town as maybe one of my level ones. And I can say, oh, you're from Dallas, Texas. Well, I have lots of friends in Dallas. Let me hook you up. And I can get them connected. That actually happened today with a group message of mine. So it's really important. I'm telling you, my legs that do this, y'all, their team, it just starts duplicating because they are getting connected so quickly. How do you feel about this, Lindsay?
Oh, I love that. I love the sense of just connecting, like, oh, it's not just me on here. I mean, I think that's important to have a safe place to ask questions. I love this. I think it's just an easy, very simple. I mean, sometimes you can even, I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of time going and writing this big thing, but I think it's just a safe place. People want to know that they feel like, oh, I can come here and ask questions. I think it's a great thing.
Okay, number 4, schedule a 3-way call. And y'all, I'll be honest, this is something we probably started about a year ago. And again, I can tell my teams who do this compared to my teams that do not. I can even tell when I forget to do this or I miss this step, I can tell a difference. And I'll be honest, like when I was doing this, I'm like, oh, because we get busy and you start adding in especially if you're higher, you start managing your team and you forget to invest in your level 1, y'all. 3-way calls are so effective. And I love doing them. I think it's sometimes you're level 1 personally. So just bringing in someone that doesn't know them personally to kind of ask them these questions really helps to get them thinking. So I made this graphic because every time I do a 3-way call, I have to look up, my steps. But this is what I go over when I go over 3-way calls. First of all, I start with telling them my story and telling them why I'm in Plexus. Because most of the time, this is like if I was doing this for Lindsay and her person. So I would be leading it. So your 3-way call, I should preface this with saying, should be your new ambassador, you, and your upline. And honestly, if you have several strong uplines, I normally choose the one I think is going to relate to this new person. It might be Angie, or it might be, let's say, a working person. It might be Ellen. So find your upline that you think is going to connect with this person. So I tell them my story and tell them my why. Then I naturally say, okay, why did you start Plexus? Why did you join the team? And they're going to tell me. And I just kind of let it naturally flow. Well, okay, they're interested in just getting their products paid for. Well, I'm going to explain making a list. Now, people who are going to work the business, that list is going to be the 100 list. But if it's somebody that's just really trying to get their products paid for, I'll say, okay, let's think of 10 names. 10 names. You use your judgment on this call, and it's not too scary, I promise. Then Facebook posting. I'll say, you know what? The greatest way to really get your business started is post on Facebook. And I might start, ask them, are you posting on Facebook? Sometimes they already are. So I'll run to Facebook, kind of stalk them, and I can give them pointers. Then I'll discuss consistency and follow-up. This can be consistency with the products, because remember, these new ambassadors are often new customers. But just consistency in the business also, and the key, the importance of following up with people. And then lastly, I will go over, resources that our team has, whether it's our team pages or the back office or YouTube videos. I'll kind of go over those. And normally they have a lot of questions for me. Lindsay, I know you do a lot of 3-way calls.
Yeah. And a lot of times when I'm talking through, like, they may have more questions about Facebook posting than resources, or they may have like a lot of questions about their, how to make a list. So I just, if I can, unless I'm driving or something, just try to jot down questions that they've really asked. So I know when I get off the phone, I need to send them a video on posting on Facebook or something like that. Or a lot of times I'll say, hey, if I mention a video or something like this when we're talking, will you just jot it down and send me this list afterwards so I'll know the things to send you? Because a lot of times, like, especially, sometimes I'll even do this, y'all, before they even sign up, especially about if they really want to work their business. That list making is really great right before they sign up. They can go ahead and have it all ready. But if they happen to have seen that Jen Hawkins video, it kind of goes through some of these things, so they're kind of a little bit more ready. And they have maybe a few more questions. So I just always try to keep a little jotted down note list of things that we've mentioned, questions they've got, things like that I can reference to. And I try to get them on a training like this pretty soon. So I try to mention that too in here.
Yes. And I'll say, if you're the one adding the new ambassador, you're going to reach out to your upline and say, hey, will you do a 3-way call with me? But if your team's starting to duplicate, it could be your new ambassador signing someone up. And so like today, I went to a few of my new ambassadors, and I had to say, oh, I saw you signed up, Sarah. Let's do a 3-way call. So remember, we're duplicating this, and we want this to duplicate down. So remember to reach out to your new ambassadors as they're adding to make sure they're having their 3-way calls and how you can help with those.
And can I say too, like if you've got a really busy week, like, and if you've added 10 people that week or whatever, feel free to do a small Zoom call with these, and you don't have to do 10 different calls. I remember when we first started, Julia, like I remember one week, like I literally had 12 different calls, and I was like, oh my goodness. So feel the freedom to do like small Zooms with just a small group if you added a lot of people that week, if that makes sense.
Right. Number 5, help with first Facebook post. So we kind of touched on this, but I think this is so important because a lot of people don't know what to put on their first Facebook post. And so it takes a little bit of coaching. Now for my team, I have a post on my team page. It's called Post It and They Will Come. And I asked everyone to post their first post in the comments. And now you can see there's 235 comments. So there's probably about 200 examples of people's first posts. So when I ask someone, and they're like, okay, I'm thinking about doing my first post, I'll say, okay, I'm going to tag you in this post on my team page. That way you can look through the comments and read tons of other people's first posts so they can get ideas. And also another thing I have is I have a document that I went and Facebook stalked myself, and I have listed my first 20 posts. And so in this document, you can see my first 20 posts in Plexus. And I send that to, anyone that's trying to do their first post, because that kind of shows them how I posted on Facebook when I got started. And I know a lot of people, I've challenged my team to make their own first 20 posts document. That way they have lots of examples. So I think that's great for you to have for your team. Also with the first Facebook post, I think it's so important. Again, you just welcome them. They feel part of the team. They have the 3-way call maybe. But go back to the team pages. And if you have a small team page or you don't have one, come to mine or come to a bigger one and say, Sarah just made her first Plexus post. Go show her some love and support. And y'all, what that's going to do is her first post isn't going to sit there in silence. Sometimes people don't have a ton of people, and we can kind of go put in our testimonies in the comments. I've helped, when I go and talk about what it's done for my family, that might trigger something other, more interest in their post. Also, it's going to help that new person become friends with, sorry, my Zoom thing's starting to mess up. It's going to help them become friends with people on their team. And so because a lot of times you have to friend them to see their post. So helping them with that first Facebook post is really key to kind of start getting their momentum going. Anything to add, Lindsay?
That was great. No, that's great.
Send videos. Number 6, send videos and articles to get them started. I feel like Lindsay is an expert on this. She's way more organized than I am. I'll tell you how I do it. If you're type Z and not type A, I really just kind of, as I think about it, I send it to them. So that's not really organized. But, if I know they just bought Plexus 96, I'll send them an article about Plexus 96. Or if I know they're really working on 531, I'll send them a video about 531. I don't really have a system, but Lindsay's way better at this than I am.
Well, no, you're good. I do kind of the same thing in a different way. Like I have the most common, and y'all probably all know the same videos that you feel like you send over and over when you sign someone up. Like the Go in Silver or 531 or videos about how to post on Facebook, like the magic of social media. I've sent that one so many times. Things like that. What I just do is I just keep in my notes section. I have on my phone, I just have a little section that says videos and links. And so I'm constantly adding to it when I find one that I really like, maybe a good one on follow-up or a really good detox article. I just have everything there with a little just caption above it so I know what it is. And it's just easier than having to go to Google every time and find them. So I just try to kind of send them things as they need it. So when I see that they've posted for the first time, then I've sent them a good video about what to do once they post, like how to answer questions, that kind of thing. Once they have gotten their first customer or their first ambassador, especially, I'll send them the video that Julia referenced in the beginning. So just having something easily accessible. It takes a few minutes just to get everything in order, but it's after you do it and get it all there, it's already there. You know, it's easy to go from.
Yes, and I think I'm going to mute everybody real quick. Lindsay, you'll have to unmute yourself. Okay, sorry, somebody became unmuted, so there's background noise. And I think that the reason I think number 6 is important, because I've seen where people try to send all the videos and articles at that beginning email, and it's just overwhelming, and people don't look at it. I have found if you send things as they need it, or they maybe not even ask for it, but you just, like she says, like cue things. Oh, she just got her first customer. Then you send her, you know, a graphic on how to take care of the customer or a video. That's just going to help them more, kind of slowly train them. And again, wholesale customers too, guys, send them those videos of the products. And I love Jennifer Pickett. Rachel Neagle has a great call. Arme Darling. I mean, I could sit here and just name several different people. We all have our favorite videos. Just make sure you're slowly sending that to them. Number 7, this is key for my team. And I think, again, I think this is what really keeps us going sometimes, is have them attend a boot camp within the first, I say 7 days. I think that first week is so important. This was just an example of one I did. Now I'm not the only one doing boot camps on my team. LROB does them. Tons of people do them. You can do your own. Have us, you know, we'll send the slideshow to you, and you can create your own. Boot camp, I've met people at Panera and gone through boot camp. You know, it doesn't have to be a Zoom call. It could be a meeting. It could be a one-on-one lunch. The main thing is just get them started. Help them understand a little bit of compensation, how to work the back office, just those most popular questions. This is key. And again, I try the first 7 days, no longer than the first month. I try to get them on this. There is a YouTube, if you're on my team, there is a YouTube link of my boot camp. I honestly didn't want to make it because my fear was people would send people the link and they're like, oh, they saw the boot camp. And I don't think anything replaces just a face-to-face where you can ask questions and you can really talk with each other. So, you know, you can send that link to people, especially if they're super busy and you're like, they'll never come on the Zoom and I'll never get them to lunch. But, you know, if it's really somebody that wants to run and you think could really, you know, benefit from this business, I mean, or do really well, I would say try to get them on a Zoom call or a face-to-face meeting with them. Lindsay, do you do anything other than a boot camp or new ambassador training? I know your whole team does this, so.
Our whole team does that. You know, I did, if there's people that are super, super busy, I have seen where another team had a recorded version, and at the end of it, she said, like, if you tell me, you know, message me back with 3 things that you learned, I'll send you a free sample of something. So that was something for people that really just could not find the time but wanted to do it. That's just an option.
Right. And if you're new and you're thinking, oh my goodness, you know, I need a boot camp, contact your upline. And I know for me, that's sometimes that triggers me to have one. So, you know, message us and we'll just have one. And to me, I love small crowds, so I love having them. But also do your own. You know, don't feel like you have to do your own right away, but eventually you're going to have to start leading your own. And maybe do it with your upline. Say, hey, can we tag team this so I can learn how to do this? You know, but you definitely want your team to look at you as the leader.
I probably got on 7 boot camps in the beginning. Like I probably just got on every single one in the beginning just because I was trying to learn so much, and I learned one new thing every time I got on. So I loved being on them.
Yeah. Well. Okay, number 8. And this isn't on the little graphic. I kind of added, I wanted 10 points, but I really thought this was great. Offer to help host a launch party. Now, y'all, one thing I love about Plexus is that we don't have to have parties. I'm not a party girl, but I will say some people really thrive in this type of setting, and they need that push. So at least offer to say, hey, if you want me to help you, you know, have a little sip and see. We're not going to sell anything. We're just going to learn about the products, do a few giveaways. That can really help launch their business. I know for me, when I moved back to Alabama, I had to have my own launch party. I didn't have anybody to do it with. And that really is what kind of got my team going. If someone lives too far away, like I have teams in Italy, I obviously can't go to Italy and have a launch party for them. But you know what? I give them the tools so they can have their own. You know, I send them videos, I send them slideshows. You know, I get on phone calls to kind of discuss what to do. So just set your team up for success. And if they're not interested in doing party, that's fine. You know, that is no big deal. But a lot of people, that they really do benefit from having these launch parties. Lindsay, launch parties?
You came and did mine. I loved mine. I still have people that, I mean, I will say, when you do get people in person and you explain the products and explain the compensation plan, most people either order or sign up. They just do.
Nothing replaces voice-to-voice, face-to-face contact. Yeah. Number 9, meetings and online events. So really with this, I just, with your new people, and I was trying to think for me what I'm doing right now, it's my responsibility. Even though they're on my team page, they might not know about every meeting. They might not know about the online event we're having Tuesday night. So personally, do not tag. My pet peeve is for people just to tag people on things because they're going to see the tag and forget. Personally, they're your level ones. Message them or text them and say, hey, we're having an online event Tuesday. This would be great for you to send your potentials to. Hey, there's a meeting in your area. I live 1,000 miles away. I can't go to it, but I could connect you with somebody so you can meet so-and-so there and y'all could sit together. Really try to connect them because the more you connect to your new team members, again, the longer and the faster they're going to start thriving on the business and their team's going to start growing. It's kind of like one of those, you want to get your newbies silver in the first month because you want them to get that $100 cash in their hands. Well, all these steps I just did, that's what's going to get them silver. That's what's going to get their team growing. But meetings and online events are very important for new ambassadors. Lindsay, anything to this? Nope, she's muted.
Oh, sorry. You got it, Julia. That's good.
And then number 10, this is our last one. Stay in touch and stay in constant contact. And y'all, this can get hard. Maybe you have to be very organized like Lindsay and take a calendar and write down your ambassadors on different names. And know on Monday, I reach out to Sarah. On Tuesday, I reach out to Lindsay. Wednesday. That might be what it takes. But you want to make sure you're contacting your brand new ambassador at least once a week, if not more, to make sure they're loving their products. See how, they've started Facebook posting, how's it going? What can you do to help? Ask specific questions. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, you just have to ask questions to see, where they're at in the business or with the products. Lindsay, how do you I know how you stay in contact with people, but suggestions for everybody else?
I think I have to write stuff down. I'm just so old school. I've tried so many different ways. So writing things down and having like a little calendar, that really does help me. And then like Julia said, asking questions. It can be something as simple as, hey Julia, what can I help you with this week? What are you wanting to learn? Things like that. And a lot of times just opening new questions they'll say, well, I really want to learn more about the products. Oh, great. Well, we just did a post about, we did one product today. Let me send these posts to you. And everything's already searched and researched and everything for you, things like that. So I think just asking questions and, being able to help show them where to find these resources too.
Right. And then you kind of start over. You have, I have this little graphic. It's a checklist for adding new ambassadors. It had the first 7 steps on it. And I'll tell y'all, this is duplication. I do this with my new people. And when they add somebody, I'll send them this graphic and I'll say, okay, this is what you need to do with them. And so it's always, I have this graphic on my phone, on my computer. I can go through this and say, okay, have I done all 7 steps with this person? And then I end it with just making sure I stay in contact with them and they have what they need. And y'all, that's what makes this business, like we said, it's so simple. You just have to stay in touch. And some people, no matter if you do all 7, 10 steps, they're going to fall off. Some people just are. But it's my favorite quote. I don't think I can do a Zoom call without it. But you got 10 people, 2 people, even if they don't have somebody do these 7 steps, they're going to do amazing at this business. That would be Lindsay. Lindsay's one of my 2 people. They would have flown with this business no matter what I did. 2 people are going to do nothing. Even if you do all this, you pour into them, you invest in them, you hold their hand their first 30 days, they're not going to do anything with the business. But then that leaves you with 6 people. And it's what you do with those 6 people is what's going to make your team grow. You can influence those 6 people. And these few steps, these simple steps, is how you influence those 6 people, those first 30 or 60 days. And you can build on this. I just want to make sure we don't overwhelm people, but that you just slowly build on building their knowledge and their comfort with these products and working the business. And I'll just kind of end with just love them where they're at. Make sure if they're a wholesale customer, love them as a wholesale customer, and just pour into them and help them love the products and be educated about the products. Because I can assure you, if they fall in love, they're going to be a great ambassador. And if they want to work the business, pour into them. I mean, there's nothing better than an excited new ambassador. Lindsay, any last words? I told y'all it was going to be quick.
Yeah, I just saw a chat where someone said, do I need to treat my wholesale customers wholesale ambassadors, keep up with them like that? And I just said, absolutely. You need to treat them just like, and whoever answered it had a great answer, like a VIP customer. I like how she said that. So, yes, you absolutely need to treat them. You need to keep in contact with them, especially in the beginning while they're learning how to take their products. So, yes, sorry, I just saw that. And I was like, yes, absolutely.
Right.
I love that, like a VIP customer. I love that. It was cute.
Yes, I do too. And remember, those wholesale customers, add them to at least one team page, y'all. I'm telling you, it will make a difference.
Because sometimes, I mean, they might be a wholesale customer for a year and then all of a sudden want to start working the business. You never know.
I've had several like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's about all we have today. Thank y'all. I hope y'all weren't expecting like rocket science. This is just really simple, y'all, but this is what I've been doing for 22 months. I know I've been doing it for over a year because I made that graphic over a year ago, and we just keep training on it, and our team keeps growing and growing and duplicating. So I think we just keep this simple, teach your team these simple steps, and find a system that works for you, and keep it going. So thank y'all for coming. If you want to stick around and ask questions, you can. We can wait till the mass chaos dies down.